So, Elon Musk, more influential than Trump online. So, there are messages now that the messages Elon Musk posts on X, the platform he purchased for 44 billion. I know it's a whopping 44 billion here. Let me go ahead and pull up this article here so all of you can see it that he's pulling up here. In 2022 have received more viewership than those of any other politically involved users, including President-elect Donald Trump, the Washington Post reported. And everyone is saying that Elon Musk, especially those in corporate media, is the great puppeteer, the influencer, the guy in charge, the guy who's running the show. The newspaper, which generally favors the Democratic Party, has tracked engagement since July, the months when the billionaire endorsed Trump for president. It said it has been monitoring posts hourly for 48 hours after a publication of to assess the influence that X users have on their audience. Oh my goodness! So according to its analysis, Musk messages have received a total of 133 billion views during the monitoring period, which is 15 times more than Trump's posts on the platform and more than 16 times more than the combined reach of all accounts belonging to members of the incoming Congress. In short, the entrepreneur eclipses all others in terms of influence, because we live in a day and age where those in power have everything. I want to pull up this video here where CNN is now saying that maybe it's Musk who's running the show. He's the great puppeteer. Elon Musk is puppeteering Donald Trump. Is that true?
If he gives information to people that they didn't previously have, or some transparency into our government, and they act on it, is that necessarily a bad thing? I might offer that.
I think that's a great idea. You think Elon Musk is actually telling people things that they couldn't find out, except for Elon Musk?
Elon Musk is doing this to gin up people, to call their congressman or congresswoman and tell them to vote against something Elon Musk doesn't want them to vote for because it doesn't directly benefit Elon Musk. Let's be very clear. He's not here.
How do you know that?
He's not. How do I know that? Because look at this bill.
You're making an allegation. It's a serious allegation. I mean, you're essentially alleging corruption.
I'm not. No, first of all, I'm not alleging corruption. I'm alleging that Elon Musk has a particular interest in seeing certain things happen that benefit Elon Musk's business. And that's a fact. He's a businessman. He's not here as a staffer. If you were a staffer, if you were working on the Hill, then he should go work on the Hill. Doge is not, he's purposely not going into the government because then he'd have to show a lot more information about himself than he and Vivek Ramaswamy want to. So now they're just advisors. They're unpaid advisors. And for that reason, Elon Musk is puppeteering Donald Trump and every other member of Congress that he wants to, every other member of Congress that he wants to benefit Elon Musk.
I'm not sure Trump is doing anything to dissuade people.
In October, the principal Democratic argument was Donald Trump is going to be a dictator, and today it's Donald Trump is just being puppeteered by other people.
Well, you could be
Which
both.
is
You
it?
could be both. Well, you could be both.
No. So here's the thing. I see the tactic that's happening here. I see the plan that's happening here. Okay, you know, it's easy to cause people's pride and ego get the better of them, and it's a very clever thing where you see the Washington Post or CNN talking about it. They want to strive a wedge between, you know, Musk and Trump. But the thing is, you know, Musk himself is wondering, like, hey, Elon's not leaving Mar-a-Lago. There's a couple of things to take away from that, because no matter where Trump goes, Elon's not too far behind. And let's be clear here. This election, Trump got a lot of support and favors, especially those who have a lot of influence. A lot of people invested in the Trump campaign. And here's the thing. Those investors want results, things that go their way. And with the amount of power and influence that Trump had during the 2024 election cycle, everybody's got to pay. But see, the thing is, you can look at corporate media as like, are they trying to cause trouble? Is there trouble brewing here? I want to real quick bring up this video here. Trump will make Musk irrelevant real quick, by our friends at CNN.
Independent Senator Bernie Sanders, who caucuses with Democrats today, wrote on X, quote, Democrats and Republicans spent months negotiating a bipartisan agreement to fund our government. The richest man on earth, President Elon Musk, doesn't like it. Will Republicans kiss the ring? Billionaires must not be allowed to run our government, unquote. What do you think this all means long-term for the influence of Elon Musk when the Trump presidency begins again?
Yeah, I mean, a couple things. This is the kind of chaos that Trump brings, and now attaching Elon and other voices, you know, into this mix is only creating more chaos. As you know, Speaker Johnson negotiated this bipartisan deal for months, and just a couple days before the deadline, Elon, who is not president, comes along and torches it, and Donald Trump, who is not president yet, comes along and torches it and sends everything into chaos. This isn't how you'd run a student council, let alone a government. It's not based on plans or strategy or even politics. It's just impulses. And that's not responsible. And that's not fair to Donald Trump's voters who voted him in to do some very specific problem solving. They didn't vote for Elon Musk. They voted for Donald Trump. But I think the thing that Bernie Sanders is doing is kind of goading Donald Trump. He's saying, you know, all of these headlines about President Musk.
Yes, it is an interesting tactic, but see, the thing is, when you spill that secret sauce, I mean, everyone kind of sees it. Now, if you've read, you know, The Art of War or The Prince, I mean, any true leader needs to have people who could challenge them, but also if they have people that are supporting them, they got to make sure they're happy too. You just can't rule absolutely. Yes, there's always a commander in chief, the prince, the general, the king, the emperor, the president, the prime minister. They are where the buck stops, but they need advisors. And remember, sometimes a king or a president, a prince, a general rises up because others helped him to rise up. But when the tactic is, let's cause a divide, is that going to work right now? Because answer is probably no. Now, everyone's kind of shocked and trying to make Musk this end-all, be-all puppeteer. And this was a horrible way to pause her, too, by the way. He's not the only one! Are we being crazy here? Because we got people who buy politicians all the time in Washington, D.C., Wall Street, big banks, corporations, hedge fund managers. You got lobby groups. All of our senators and House representatives are being influenced and puppeteers by people with money. It's all one big club. St. George Carlin, who's doing that Broadway musical in the sky, I told you so. Because no, he's not spinning in his grave. He's not vomiting in his grave. He's up there in the big sky saying, I told you so. One big old giant musical for everybody to see. Elon Musk influencing the president? Oh, so he's the only person doing that throughout the entire history. Hey, first of all, we did a segment in which White House aides were saying, hey, yeah, Joe Biden has good days, bad days. Locking him up because it's clear he was on a mental decline. You know, there's a lot of people there who had influence. Who was puppeteering Biden? Oh, I'm willing. Not only was it probably some of his aides, but also there might have been some, you know, huge financial investors too, telling, hey, sign this piece of paper here, sign this piece of legislation there. You never know. We got senators who are bought. We got senators that get phone calls from their donors, their owners. Oh, donors. Right? So this is nothing new. Who's running the show? The people with the money. Money.
Or Speaker Musk. Every time that comes up from a Democrat or a Republican or the press, I think it's a real chink in Trump's armor. And as soon as Trump figures out that Elon Musk is bigfooting him and making him look pretty weak, I think Trump is going to marginalize him real quick. He'll become just
not going to happen.
Just as irrelevant as everyone else who has taken up Trump's spotlight in the past.
Oh no. Is there a divorce in the horizon? Okay. But then again, too, then when you have, you know, people like Elizabeth Warren who want to then continue to promote that. That's right. Because again, it's all promotion of fear.
Hakeem Jeffries is the Democratic leader in the House. He said earlier that not only was he a no on this new deal that failed tonight, he was a hell no. Yeah. Are you a hell no? What's your view of this?
Look, Leader Jeffries is exactly right on this. And I find it just laughable that the Republicans are saying, well, actually, the Republicans couldn't come together and cut a deal, but the Democrats should have gotten out there and saved their sorry butts and actually pushed through a deal. That's just nuts. The Republicans can't come together.
Nuts? The king is nuts.
Because they can't stick to the deal they originally negotiated. And this is on them. And it really is the reminder who now runs the Republican Party. And it's Musk. He's the one who started tweeting at 4:30 this morning about what a bad deal this was and how.
Okay. Well, if it was such a bad deal, Warren, why don't you guys actually write a bill Do a bill that's going to help out the American people. I mean, that would be nice. You know, if you're so worried about one person, hey, why don't you look at some of these other billionaires that instead of going publicly on Twitter, do a phone call to your colleagues in the Senate and House? You know, you're all worried about one guy. I mean, yes, I get it. I know there's a lot of people that don't like Elon Musk, but to be clear here, he ain't the only one. He ain't the only one, people.
Terrible it was. And Donald Trump trails along much, much later and says, yeah, terrible deal. And then Donald Trump is the one who says, maybe we should get rid of the debt ceiling altogether. But is that what the Republicans propose? No. What the Republicans say is, let's just do a little period of time of getting rid of it, long enough to be able to grease the skids, to be able to pass a big, big tax giveaway to billionaires.
So you don't think Democrats should step in to help Republicans here? But on the debt ceiling,
this deal?
on the debt.
Ah, yes, on the debt ceiling, on this and on that. But see, this is all the realm of fear. This is all fear propaganda right here. And it's ignoring the bigger issues. That is, the people with the money and the power are the ones that influence everything. What Elon Musk is doing and saying isn't anything new. Will Elon Musk and Donald Trump have a fallout? I really couldn't give a damn. I don't think that I really don't see that happening in the horizon. I don't. Maybe that's just me speaking here. We'll see what happens. Again, anyone with ego and pride, they always collide. Hey, I think that rhymed a little bit. But that's the problem. See, so much pathetic actions by corporate media. They're trying to deflect. They're trying to put this up here and that up here. And all the while, they're ignoring the bigger story. The people who we elect are puppets themselves by their owners. I mean, donors. Donald Trump is no different. See, the thing about the Democratic Party and the Republican Party is that they're both one the same. There are people who donate to both parties. I mean, my goodness, there are people who are in the back pocket of so many politicians because that's the system that we have here. And they're surprised that they're seeing this happen. Also, this says a lot about the power of new media and how ill-prepared the quote-unquote Democrats are. I mean, I remember it wasn't too long ago when Obama got into office and how Democrats were touting social media as the new media and how as influential. Well, what do you expect? People to shut up and not talk to each other online? This is how power is used now. And the corporate media and the Democrats are unable to see it. But here's the thing. To all the voters, your country is bought. Your politicians are puppets. Why do you think things haven't improved? Why do you think things are so terrible? It's because their owners, I mean donors, are making sure you get nothing. So it's not Musk. He's nothing new. He's not a phenomenon. It's the ongoing phase of American corruption where money is speech and corporations are people.